What's up, everybody? Welcome to Mike's Monday Motivation, where I bring you some inspiration and motivation for your week. Today I want to talk about confirmation biases. What I mean by that is that we tend to perceive, put a filter on the information that happens around us to confirm the biases that we already have. Things like we're not good enough, things like they don't like you, things like we're not successful. And typically we use this in the negative. And so when you see things happen around you, we tend to use that to confirm the negative mindsets or stories we tell about ourselves or the things going on around us, the things that we have happening in our lives. And because it can become very dangerous. And so when you look at things through that perspective of does it or does it not corroborate what I already think, it stops you from having alternative perspectives that might help you realize the reality of the situation. And I read something one time that said, the best thing that you can have when making decisions is a proper understanding of the reality. And the reality tends to tell you that things are never as good or as bad as you think they are. And this is where having outside mentorship, a coach, someone or people around you in your organization, your assistant even, to help you understand the reality of the situation. Specifically as like entrepreneurs and high-performing people, it can be difficult to get out of your own head and get out of that feedback loop. Business is hard. Everything's working against you to an extent, which is why entrepreneurship comes with such high upside potential and income potential. It comes with high risk and it is challenging. And it's built to tell you that you're not good enough at things because things are constantly changing, things are constantly evolving, people are changing, people are evolving, you're changing, you're evolving. Nothing's really ever the same quarter to quarter, year to year. And because of that, we can fall into the feedback loop in our heads on what we are not good enough as, like the scarcity mindset of what our skill sets are, what our beliefs are, what the people around us believe, who you can trust, who you can't trust. That is a constantly changing thing. And so if you use the filter to corroborate what you believe about yourself negatively, if you use that confirmation bias of that you're using your biases to confirm your negatives, confirm your downsides, confirm your weaknesses by what you see around you, you'll constantly be feeding that beast in that fire. You'll constantly be feeding that feedback loop that you are not enough. I would say that by far is one of the biggest issues I hear from people is that they do not believe they are enough to have success, enough to have money, enough to have a business, enough to keep employees, enough to keep a family, enough to be a good spouse, enough to be a good parent. So many people feel like they are not enough. Well, if you use that as the filter to what's going on around you, you will get, we'll say, lied to, faked into. The perspective of everybody around you then multiplies in your favor of corroborating the story that you're not enough. So my suggestion to you, and this is a very challenging thing, like this episode is a challenging thing because of how hard it is to get people out of that realization that they are actually enough. And I read something in a book recently by Garrett Gunderson, and the statement was, it is impossible to be in abundance while feeling like you are not enough. It is impossible to be in abundance while feeling like you are not enough. And people talk about being in abundance and like the opposite of scarcity mindset and believing there's enough out there and it's not a zero-sum environment, but it's impossible to maintain being in abundance with what you are capable of going and getting if you are struggling feeling like you are enough. It hurts everything. It hurts so many things that go into your interpersonal relationships, into your success, into your leadership, into your family, into your weeks. So instead of focusing on finding things that make you feel like you're not enough, I would hyper focus this week on seeing where you're winning. Find ways to show gratitude. Write down your wins. Find the people around you that do appreciate you. Like I'm a victim sometimes of ignoring the 9 people who love me to help the one person who doesn't. That's a historical thing for me. Like since I was a kid, like I'd have 9 friends, but be worried about why the one person didn't like me this week. And so focus on the things that are going well. Focus on the fact that you do have things to be grateful for. Focus on the things that you do have relationships that other people don't. Focus on things that you do have a house and money and cars that many people don't. Finding ways to have gratitude and be grateful can work just as powerfully for you as finding reasons to believe you're not enough. And like people talk about gratitude, but really it's as much about the gratitude activity, the daily show of gratitude, as it is about just finding ways to create the filter to confirm the biases that you are enough and you are helping people. And there's a lot of people that be better off because you're here. There's a lot of people better off because you are around. There's a lot of people better off because you continue to show up and fight through the. There's a lot of people better off, and a lot of lives change because you have taken on the responsibilities you have. You will forever let people down, but there's a lot more people you're lifting up and a lot more people you're helping and a lot more things that you have that many people don't. So don't take those things for granted and get hyper focused on gratitude for the things and the impact you are making. And ideally you do that over time, and it'll increase your ability to see things through the perspective of you are enough to help combat the inner demons a lot of us struggle with in feeling like we are doing enough. So get out there this week, show some gratitude so that you can win fast and win often.